Mm-hmm. 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 Hello there, Site 42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP Foundation. And welcome to another Coffee Break with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. As always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director here at Site 42 of the SCP Foundation. And as I have done, or over the last year and counting, because still the daily stream streak remains strong, I'm here to open my office doors to you, the SCP Foundation staff, to answer your burning questions about this dark and mysterious place of employment we call the SCP Foundation. So whether you have questions about the anomalies we contain, the staff who contain them, the groups of interest who try to stop us from containing them, or hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall outside of the SCP Foundation's purview, perhaps they're from a different multiverse or pataphysical narrative level, i.e., fandom. Either way, we are here for the next approximately 1 hour and 15 minutes, approximately 75 minutes, for today's coffee break. But before I begin the stream subject, let me begin with a little bit of housekeeping. Creepypasta George Harrison, congratulations on being the #1 most punctual member of today's Containment Hazard Assessment team, i.e., congratulations on being first chatter. Alongside you, Dr. Frogman, Amber, Puppet Boy, Legendary Doge, Froy. Everybody who I have just named, thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being here as members of Site 42 on YouTube. We appreciate your membership and your service. Furthermore, DJ, Daxray, 100 Stars, Local Bean, Steven Tambari, Daniel Cross, Blux Fruits, Zen the Vigilante, and Void Cat. Congratulations on being here punctually, and congratulations on being here today just for being you. Now, today's sponsorship section is a game of I've got bad news and I've got good news. And so I'm not giving you a choice in the matter. I'm starting with the bad news. That way, we can pick up to the good news again to make ourselves feel better about it. But for our bad news, I must bring along a friend by the name of the Dr. Sherman Site Director Edition Plushy. You see, there is 15 hours remaining to purchase this small bean before it is gone forever. But unfortunately, there was a caveat to that, which is if we don't hit a certain amount of sales, we, myself and Plush Foundry, cannot produce them at all. And of the required 200 beans we would have had to produce, we did not get close to that mark. Oh no, we did not crest 50 plush purchases. Now, the previous plush, this little guy here, did much better to that and did get produced and did get sent around the country. But our second edition here, our second edition is now, as of today to me, probably toast. Because at 44 plushes out of 200, I do not think we're going to get the rest of those within the current 15-hour time limit to finish. Now, am I sad that this little guy will not be produced? Yes. I would love it to be produced and sent around the country. And I do appreciate those who did sign up to purchase it. Correct, you will be refunded if it doesn't go through. Which, with all likelihood, I believe we are at a 95% mark. It's probably not going to go through. If you already paid for one, it should be refunded. But I do not blame the SCP community and the Site42 community for this. It is very unfortunate that at the same time we launched the Site Director Edition 2nd Edition Plushie, which was meant to be the 1-year anniversary of daily streams back on April 14th. Well, we did go into a crazy war where prices of everything in the world have gone up. I can understand that everybody is kind of feeling pinched in their wallets right now. It is not fortunate. It is not great timing. But I understand it. And we will have to try this again in the future. This prototype exists. We have the design. But we will need to try it again in the future if we're going to do this. Because right now, not great timing. People's wallets are in a particularly bad state right now. I understand the scenario. I am sorry to everyone who wanted to get one but could not get one. Whether you set your order because you did actually want to get one and put your purchase in, or whether you wanted to get one but couldn't afford it because of the worldwide scenario. Rough. Rough. That's the bad news. Now, as I said, I do have good news to share with you, to palate cleanse us into the general Q&A. And that good news, that good news, is I spent an hour and a half last night after our stream on a video call with one director Zach of Keter Labs of SCP Containment Breach, the movie. And I will have you know, our conversation bore some very interesting fruit regarding the storylines of said movie, regarding the themes, regarding who may or may not be participating in said film, who may or may not be making cameos in said film. And I saw a little bit of the behind the scenes of the Kickstarter that they are about to launch on May 15th, this Friday. Now, while we have the sad news of the plushie, I will have you know that I do not lose heart in the Site42 community or the SCP community because of it. Because sometimes we fail and sometimes we succeed. That's the way of the world. You don't fail or succeed unless you try. And we at Site42 and Mobile Task Force Sci-42, codename Signal Boosters, we will never stop trying, believe you me. But think of how we did succeed this year. The SCP playing cards, those were dope as hell. We got a Dr. Sherman playing card to exist. SCP Galleonic, aka SCP the Anime. That got fully funded past its original funding goal into its stretch goal that got us the full 20-minute short film, fully animated. No half-ass storyboards because they couldn't fund the whole thing. Galleonic, we nailed that. And honestly, if it was going to be between the Plushy getting funded or getting SCP Containment Breach, the feature film, to be shown in movie theaters to get fully funded, well, I hope the movie is the winner. And so let me just say, the Kickstarter starts on Friday, and I will be devoting a portion of my funding to said thing. And I do hope that the Site 42 community will also make the effort to donate to said funding and to share it far and wide as SCP Galleonic made. Site 42 staff, Mobile Task Force Site 42 codename Signal Boosters. I did want to make this clear as a bonus order. This is not an order, the same way that I tell you you need to share everything that we do and everything that we help the SCP community projects get made. But you may want to consider starting to become active on social media yourself. If you're out there retweeting these things, if you're out there liking, sharing, subscribing on the other social media platforms, you could become a valuable asset, a higher order member of Mobile Task Force Psi-42 codename Signal Boosters. We got the grunt work, but we could use some high-level operators. People who are hitting those retweets and making memes and clips and edits. Because Keter Labs is going to need the same signal boosting help that Galleonic did. And they're not working with the same level of fandom as the anime fans. So we're going to have to do this without anime social media's way of doing things. And so, Mobile Task Force Psi-42 codename Signal Boosters. The good news is we have a shot at something brilliant here. We've seen Five Nights at Freddy's make it to theaters. We've seen Iron Lung make it to theaters off of Markiplier's blood, sweat, and tears alone. We've seen, we're going to see The Backrooms in theaters at the end of this month. I have my tickets ordered. I will be seated. Popcorn will be had. The drinks will be plentiful. And so SCP the movie, that is the next domino in line. And we are getting ready to make it happen. By the way, added bonus. Once the Kickstarter opens, if you are one of those high-level operators of Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codenamed the Signal Boosters, who have social media accounts that utilize and post things from time to time, it wouldn't be a bad idea to say, hey, Markiplier, do you want to be in the movie? Because it was brought to my attention that Keter Labs made a video, an open letter to Markiplier, to ask Markiplier to be in the movie. And Markiplier saw the title and the thumbnail of the video and didn't watch it. And he didn't watch it because Marky Moo made an assumption. Dr. Frogman, you heard from someone that Mark said he didn't want to be in the movie. Dr. Frogman, your assumption is almost correct because the person who told you that didn't have the real intel. On one of his podcasts, he derided Zach from Keter Labs, the person who made the video. But because he didn't know what the video was about, he thought the video was someone begging him to make his next movie that he made, the SCP movie, i.e., devote all of that energy and money to what we want you to make. And Markiplier, an artist, a diva I stan, said, "You don't choose what movies I make. I'm the chooser. I'm the one who decides what I make. And not you, me." Which is well within his right. But that's not what he was being asked, man. It sucks that he got the wrong impression. And so hopefully, Agent Mark Iplier can get the right idea soon. That we don't want Markiplier to make an SCP movie. We just want Mark to come on set, to say hi, do a cameo, be a part of the group project that everyone so thanks him for uplifting, because it's going to get made one way or another. But it'd be really cool to have Mark in it because Mark is so cool. So yes, I would like to see that happen. Fingers crossed something like that comes across. And I will be attempting to use my social media tactics to clarify so that Marky Moo does not feel so insulted by our hubris, which we didn't have, but it's fair to think we have hubris. A lot of people have hubris on social media. A lot of people are hella entitled, and you shouldn't be entitled to what people do on social media. It is their lives. They're adult people who you should respect their autonomy, but also, this is an invitation, not an order. This is an invitation for a low-pressure cameo, not begging you to make a whole movie again. Different order. Different order. So, with that, I am now moving on from the stream subject to approximately 1 hour of general Q&A. I will catch up on the donations that have come in during the intro, and then we will vibe. I am hoping that with the scheduling snafus I've been happening with doctors and this scenario, hopefully tomorrow will be a more normal day where I can go back to reading This Is My JamCon articles, and also where I can not have to wear cool glasses. Researcher Wispbug, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself some calming jasmine tea on your way past the commissary. Coffee, espresso. Sounds like you might need to cut back a little bit. Wandering by the Books, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself some cheddar fries on your way past the commissary. First Backrooms, now there'll be an SCP movie? Peak! You're damn right, Peak. And this is an order, Site 42 staff and members of the Containment Hazard Assessment Team, as well as Mobile Task Force Site 42, codenamed the Signal Boosters. Right now, you need to go to Kickstarter, and if you have an account on Kickstarter, you need to notify me on launch for the SCP Containment Breach the Movie Kickstarter. When this number gets higher, people get excited. And so we need people to follow the SCP Containment Breach the Movie live action feature horror adaptation of the hit video game by Keter Labs, based out of LA, California. Ooh, they've added the preview trailer. No, they've added the 10-minute proof of concept to the pre-launch page. Very nice. So if you are able to go give that a follow, let's go juice their numbers a little bit. We want them to have the same vibe as Gallionic. Big support right out the gate. We want people looking at them and going, we want all the big film Twitter accounts and X accounts and Blue Sky accounts and Threads accounts going, oh, we better report on this because this is probably pretty cool. Sleepless Dragon, thank you for sending 5 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they are proud to be a 5-star chat. Amber, thank you for sending a floating heart to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure that they feel the love. And Computer Guy, thank you for your 10 months as a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. How are things? I've been struggling with burnout. I mean, Computer Guy, I am right there with you. Over the last week and a half, between my eye and that vicious food poisoning stomach bug that I got last week, man, I just feel like my body's falling apart. But doctors say I'm doing okay. Medical says my vitals are pretty good, pretty vital. And hey, I've been really killing it, the Foundation Fitness Initiative recently. Gym gains, the weights, they're coming back. My ankle, walked a whole 2 miles the other day, did not have pain or issue. We are getting back, people. One way or another, we've all got this. If I'm not falling, you're not falling. We're all in this, SCP Foundation staff. Dr. Sherman, are you sure you weren't exposed to SCP-666.5-J? Oh, intern Shark Nerd, I'm absolutely sure that was in the meatloaf. That I'm fairly sure on this pataphysical narrative level, that's exactly what happened. That's certainly what it felt like. Mm-hmm. Dear Doctor, a question, if I may. What are your thoughts on jesters? Choose your words wisely. I'm a jester, and all if you say anything bad, I will be in your walls. Well, intern Beanie Bell, you will not believe the traps and hazards I have had to install in the walls of my office due to the rambunctiousness of our containment hazard assessment team. You'd think that Foundation staff would act a little bit more professionally. But luckily for you, you will not have to see said traps because jesters are cool. They're entertainers. They get to speak truth to power. They're the fools. They're fun. Why would they juggle? Why would anyone not like a jester? Have you seen the jester on social media? The one who dresses like a plague doctor? Pesterica? Very fun. Dr. Sherman, we are supposed to call that guy SCP-049, remember? Intern Shark Nerd, I do agree, but also I do have to shout out the cool performer by name. That way people can go find them. I gotta balance it sometimes. Out of character so Des doesn't think I'm spamming. If Mark is in it, they need to reference SCP-5561. It's the Markiplier E-meme. What? We have a Markiplier SCP? And I didn't know about it? SCP-5561. Oh, no. It's true. It's true. There's a Markiplier SCP and I didn't even know. SCP-5561, codename E. Notice from the Foundation Records and Information Security Administration. The following document has been infected by an info hazard and is unreadable in its current state. A translation has been provided at the end of the file. Signed, Maria Jones, Director, Riza. Translation attached below. Level 2 clearance required. Footnote. I don't know how he does this. Footnote. Translation attached below. Level 2 clearance required. Oh, thank fuck. Ugh. Okay. Let's see what this actually is. This is how operas sound to me. Oh, intern sprite, that's completely unfair. There's a whole scale in opera. They don't just sing E, there's also A, B, C, D, and F, G. There's more than one note. Item number 5561, object class safe, footnote, pending Euclid reclassification. As of February 2nd, 2020, no other instances of the Lord Marquard E-meme exhibited anomalous effects. Description. 5561 is a save file of an internet meme referred to as Lord Marquard E. It is an image of YouTube or Markiplier Fishbox and Lord Farquaad, footnote, the antagonist from the movie Shrek, faces merged together and superposed over an image of the Mark Zuckerberg congressional hearings. This image has been run through various filters, making the image appear washed out and saturated in color in a graphic design commonly known as, quote, deep fried. The effects of 5561 became apparent whenever the save file on the hard drive is directly referenced in a bureaucratic document. All language is replaced by the capital letter E. 5561 does not replace the letters in the document, not directly referencing the save file. However, the nomenclature for Mr. Fishbox username will vary in text referencing the anomaly. 5561 was discovered on a hard drive belonging to Samuel Fitzgerald, anthropology student at Ohio State. As a class assignment, Mr. Fitzgerald wrote a thesis on Lord Marquard E. The secondary effect of the anomaly is the inability of Mr. Fitzgerald to write consequential bureaucratic documents. Footnote, such as school assignments, applications, government forms. Additionally, the subject is further incapable of saying the name of the horror game YouTuber. Amnestics are recorded to have no effect. The Foundation reached out to Mark Fishbach for questioning. Mr. Fishbach declined an interview and was under Foundation surveillance for 30 days. In that time, no anomalous activity was detected. As of February 2nd, 2020, Samuel Fitzgerald is the only known individual to exhibit 5561's secondary effect. Emails and minutes of Samuel Fitzgerald's disciplinary hearing were acquired by the Foundation in Addendum 1. Okay, interesting stuff here. Well, I am glad. You can read those letters on your own time. There's nothing that I need to get into or spoil the ending, so to speak. But Lord Marquard, Markiplier, Lord Farquaad, and Shrek, all in one SCP article. What a world! Robert, the SCP researcher, we have approximately 50 minutes left in this stream. Creepypasta George Harrison, desk mistook your phrase tism as a misspelling of time. That is what is happening right now. What's with the sunglasses? I still have light sensitivity in my eye from the whatever irritation anomaly is bothering it. So the sunglasses help me to stream without the eye getting worse due to the light. Hey, Dr. Sherman, is it possible for SCP-294 to dispense a cup of SCP-420-J? Is it possible? Well, now you've got me curious as to the properties of liquid marijuana in that state. Because obviously, SCP-420-J is a flower, a bud, a plant, it is a solid, not a liquid. So if you dispense liquid of the solid, the question is, what properties would that liquid end up having in the first place if it were successful? Blue Phantom, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a brownie on your way past the commissary. 5 more days till 999 is allowed to wander the facility again. Also, how is your desk day? And where the puppy of interest 42? And how is Charlie's training? Well, Charlie's training in the Cadet Academy is going very well, although she and Animal Wrangler Goose are currently out on a field mission, so they are unavailable to visit. I assume Desk is doing all right. I am also doing all right. Hey, Dr. Sherman, how's it going? I have some tea I would like to share. I have too much. Would you like any, or are you not a tea drinker? Intern James, I am known to enjoy a good cuppa from time to time, depending on the tea. Actually, not really depending on the tea. I like all types of tea. But, sure, if you've got some to spare. Agent Goose, I am familiar with the fact that one can measure a cup of solids. That is not the same as an anomalous coffee machine dispensing a liquid. Not the same in any sense. Counter, ha! Dr. Sherman, are those sunglasses meant to obscure your anomaly? It isn't working. We all saw the most recent short. Intern Shark Nerd, these are medically required glasses for an anomaly that is infecting my eye at the current. It is nothing to do with me being anomalous, not in any way, shape, or form. And in fact, that short was definitely non-canon, and you can tell because in the first place, I said the SCP Foundation is real. And we all know that the SCP Foundation is a fun creative writing community and fandom because we drop kayfabe when people ask if it's real. Therefore, because I said it's real, you know it's not canon. That is my story, and I am sticking to it. I think Dr. Sherman's anomaly is being so ace that even anomalies that make people attracted to it don't work. Well, 369 Destroyer, if I am anomalous in some way, perhaps that is the manner. I have not experimented in such a manner because that would mean putting myself in danger of anomalies, and I prefer not to do that. So, Perhaps in some universe that is transpired naturally, and might be the case, but I haven't heard about it. I remember when I thought it was real, slept completely under the covers because I was terrified of that one hand anomaly. Oh, everyone should be terrified of SCP-072 because it is the creepiest fucking thing. Why in the world would anyone not be afraid of SCP-072, codename the foot of the bed, i.e., if you leave one of your feet uncovered in an infected mattress, it will spawn a hand with creepy long fingers and nails that will skin your ankle down to your toes, flaying one strip of flesh at a time while you are awake in sleep paralysis, unable to move, but definitely able to feel the peel repeatedly. Hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it, SCP-072. You are the worst. Oh, especially because the affliction of the hand under the mattress is contagious. If you leave a bed next to an infected bed, then both beds are now infected with the creepy hand. So it can be spreading to any furniture store that one might shop at. Ugh. Mm. 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 Is SCP-5909 the biggest? Intern Sammy. I would imagine that something 2.1 light years in length would probably be of the largest anomalies in containment, due to the fact that, we have a lot of infinite anomalies, but are they really infinite if we can't find the ends to prove it, and also they aren't actually overtaking the entire Earth? That's more of a spatial anomaly than it is actually infinite. And so 5909, the giant shrimp, might be one of the biggers. Frogman is saying SCP-3200 is bigger than 2.1 light years. 3200 is well, expanding at a rate of 1 million light years per year. So yeah, that is in fact bigger. That is in fact bigger at 300 million light years, Dr. Frogman. You have a point. Okay, good to know. SCP-3200 at 300 million light years is currently the largest anomaly on file. I mean, it is just a space. I mean, at least 5909 is something. At least 5909 is a shrimp. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I saw a Ko-Fi notification. Let me get that before I forget it exists. Amber, thank you for your first donation of today's stream, as well as making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi, which, as we all know, takes 3% of your donation, whereas YouTube Super Chat, YouTube takes 30% of your donation. So we appreciate you making the effort and making your donation go further. Grab yourself a slice of cherry pie on your way past the commissary. Just got to share early victory. I had 3 tests over the last month, got results today. No cancer detected on my kidney. I had cancer 8 years ago. Yay. Congratulations on not cancer. We are big fans of not cancer at Site 42. The opposite of not cancer being cancer, we're not fans of that at all. Boo cancer. Yay, not cancer. Congratulations on your cancerlessness, Amber. Black Phoenix, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi. Grab yourself a fried fish sandwich on your way past the commissary. Hello, everyone. I recently did my testing for autism, etc. Is anyone else excited for the Bloodborne movie? Those are unrelated, but okay. Jacksepticeye is one of my favorite YouTubers. I'm glad he is also making a movie after Markiplier. I hope I can see it in theaters. I will be getting the results of Friday. Okay. So you've like parentheticaled your autism test and hoping for results around Jacksepticeye's Bloodborne movie, which might just be an autism test right there, honestly. That might just be the test. You might have just passed. Um, Jokes aside, I am excited. I am a Bloodborne fan, and dismay comes upon me every time I imagine how Sony has dropped the ball with that franchise. So hopefully, Jacksepticeye's animated film, which Jacksepticeye is producing, brings us to a world where they make a second fucking game. Gimme! And yes, the streak of YouTubers making movies is increasing. I love that for us. It makes our odds of success much better. Blue Phantom, thank you for donating again to say. What is the anti-memetics division? I caught someone saying they're from it in the breaker room. Well, listen. Head over to medical, get some Nestics. You seem to have forgotten a whole division of the Foundation. But since it is anti-memetics, it makes sense you've forgotten it. A couple doses and everyone forgets. Keep an eye on that. What's the strongest SCP Foundation? Intern Sammy, what do you mean, what's the strongest SCP Foundation? There's only one, unless you count the multiverse. And I don't want to get into a multiverse of which SCP Foundation from which multiverse is stronger. That's just a dick measuring contest waiting to happen where everyone goes to war over their pride and egos. Don't need it. Affleck, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Thank you for making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi. Grab yourself a creme brulee on your way past the commissary. Yes, site director. I, the evil fucking skeleton Tony, have taken over this filthy meatbag cellular device. I, Tony, will now make efforts to take over the world. How are you going to take over the world with this filthy meatbag cellular device? There are a lot of people on this planet who have cellular devices and are yet unable to wield them to take over the world. And they have the advantage of having skin. So, have you considered that maybe? Is there a coin SCP? Intern White. I will bet on the likelihood that out of the 10,000 plus SCPs that exist, one of them is about a coin. SCP-1289. Karen's Obel. Well, that's very specific. SCP-1289 is a coin of indeterminate origin weighing exactly 10 grams. Although the coin shows signs of wear, sampling for purposes of metallurgical analysis have proven impossible. Linguistic analysis reveals the coin writing to be a heretofore unrecorded evolution of Latin. Foundation linguists have translated the language and have found the writing changes during activation events. See below. The obverse of the coin depicts a traditionally Greco-Roman profile, while the reverse depicts a robed man piloting a gondola-style boat. Under specific circumstances, hereto referred to as activation events, the coin will, under its own power, jump and begin flipping in mid-air. The coin will reach and maintain a maximum flip speed of 170 rotations per minute for 5 minutes. Measurements consistent in every event. No effective means to restrain the coin from activating have been found. When pinned, encased, or otherwise restrained from jumping, the coin will pulverize any material interfering with flipping. When allowed to land on the surface, the coin never lands on edge, bounces, or rolls, or otherwise display any level of ambiguity concerning its heads or tails result. Current containment procedures satisfy the coin's need to jump during activation events, which still occur in containment with the coin freezing on a result. Activation events. A correlation between activation events and several persons of significance has been established. A person of significance is defined as a person whom, in surviving, will directly influence global events and culture. Causality study 1289 alpha has determined that the coin is neither portentous of nor casual nor causal. Causality study 1289 alpha has determined that the coin is neither portentous of nor causal to the death or survival of a person of significance, and yet displays a deterministic factor correlated by way of heretofore unknown means. Partial log of significant activation events. February 3rd, 1959. Tails indicates expiration, identity, unverified, multiple possible subjects. Translation: a word translated as silence or quiet. June 12, 1962. Heads indicates survival, identity verified 1979. Translation: a phrase translated as use force or utilize might. Date: March 30th, 1981. Heads indicating survival. Translation: the phrase frozen blade or ice weapon. January 27th, 1984. Heads indicating survival. The phrase long live the king or life to the ruler. March 31st, 1993, tails, indicating expiration. The phrase do not look away or do not look or look away. Special activation log, inconclusive. See notes. A word translated as home or center appeared on both sides of the coin. Activation notes is the strangest activation of the obol we have witnessed. Although we were informed of the subject of the flip within mere minutes, the flip itself was a singular event. The coin spun in its housing as usual. However, when the usual freeze event occurred, the obol was facing as if on edge, and identical writing was recorded from both sides. This is the first and truly only ambiguous result the obol has expressed. I'm forced to wonder if this coin knows more than it usually provides. Signed, Director Mains, Information Logistics Unit. Okay, I wonder if the, now, also the dates do incline with certain activation events that are listed in the discussion if you want the spoilers. So head to the article, read it, and check out the spoilers in the discussion. Oh, and apparently I'm signed out of the wiki? Why would I be signed out? Peculiar. All right, returning to the chat. Interesting that we found a coin. We see your screen, Sherm, in your glasses. Cool. Then you see me, inside of 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 me. Alki, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will enjoy its twinkle. Silly Goose, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some Doritos on your way past the commissary. And also, Desk did not understand the Cyrillic word you wrote, therefore deleted it in case it was a curse or something. General moderating rules. Make sure to speak only in English here. But you said UIU or the GRU Division P in English, and, well, the UIU still exists. The GRU Division P is defunct after the fall of the Soviet Union. I mean, there's some splinter cells running around, but mostly they're not around anymore. Wandering by the books, thank you for donating again to say, whoa, what was that? What was what? I I don't know what was what. I am confused. Came up with an SCP idea I definitely want to prioritize after my tail. A friendly AI that works for us, but finds out it's destined to be unintentionally destroy humanity, so has to be terminated. Very sad. Oh, that would be rough. Skynet, but it doesn't want to do a Skynet. I'm sure the Artificial Intelligence Applications Division would have thoughts about that. I had an interesting SCP idea while I was heading to the doctor's today, heading over to medical. Don't know if I'll ever have the opportunity to write it. I don't have a lot of time to write these days. I keep far too busy, unfortunately. But I do like the idea in format. The idea here is that the SCP document, now this would be SCP 9,000 something, SCP 10,000 something by the time it came out if I did write it. But when you open the article, it would start with a very simple format, similar to SCP-173, and it would be a low number SCP. I'd just say it's SCP-375 or something. And it would have the discovery log and the research tests, and you'd get to know an SCP doctor character. Now, I don't think I want to write this to be my research project. At least I haven't decided if I want to write it to be a Dr. Sherman article. Maybe you guys can tell me if it sounds cool to be the Dr. Sherman article on the wiki. But it's just a simple SCP article. But by the time it gets to the end of this article, the anomaly is destroyed, it's neutralized, and it says next submission. So the next one is SCP-1000 something. It's later. And the researcher in question has a new project that they're working on. And they're working on this project, and maybe they're doing research, and it's a living anomaly, and they do all this stuff to try and make the anomaly feel better about being in containment, but due to some sort of bureaucracy, the anomaly is taken away from this researcher, the project is closed, and the anomaly is shipped off to another researcher at another site. So he never finds out what happens to this researcher. Then we go to the third iteration, and now it's like 5,000 or something. And again, it's a research project, something's going on. But essentially, we go through like 4 or 5 different anomalies. Creepypasta George Harrison, you're saying so it's the living version of the cursed number SCP. Kind of. But this researcher keeps going along, trying to make anomaly, trying to do research, trying to do his job, but every time he has a project, something goes amiss, something breaks it off. But eventually, over the course of the time as the Foundation, over the course of the years, in a sort of absurdist, one must imagine Sisyphus happy, of this researcher pushing the boulder uphill and having it roll back down, pushing the boulder uphill and having it roll back down. Eventually, this researcher becomes immortal, because despite never finishing a project, he did end up neutralizing that first anomaly, which was exceedingly dangerous and would have ended the world. He did save that anomaly's mental health that he worked with them, which caused them to become a staff member and a loyal part of the Foundation. And so over the course of all of these short vignette failed documents, this researcher eventually becomes immortal, just working for the Foundation on projects, doing good as he can, but not in the way he thinks, and not in the way that, one would claim successful. This guy has never finished an SCP project successfully. He's never codified an SCP, and in it becomes an SCP. But, so yes, one must imagine Sisyphus Happy, the SCP article. That's the pitch. I'm thinking about it. I obviously need the time to write, which I don't have a lot of these days, but that's something that I'm considering. CD23, thank you for your 7 months as a Mobile Task Force Captain here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Huh, weird. I didn't get a live alert, just found stream while doom scrolling. Also, SCP-72. Oh, fuck you for bringing that thing into the stream. Oh. Gonna send you after the most dangerous anomaly I can think of. Says hi, chat. Doctor, why do you sound like you're gonna throw up when you mentioned that SCP? Intern Beanie, go to the document for that anomaly and read it. It is not just me. Everyone, barring some weird freaks out there, find that to be the most disgusting, horrifying abomination we contain at the Foundation. It is the worst. Either way, Site 42 staff, we are currently 21 minutes from the end of stream. 21 minutes from the end of stream as a time check. Have we considered using SCP-173's waste as an infinite source of fertilizer? Intern Shark Nerd, this has been brought up in the past. Unfortunately, you do not know what the byproducts of an anomaly will do in the long term. Yes, while it appears to be standard feces and blood in the mixture that 173 excretes, and by the way, reminder from the Department of Achromatic Abatement, otherwise known as the Foundation's Waste Management Division, frickin' 37.5 pounds of byproduct every day? Why? Why is the statue so poopy? Suffice it to say, it's wholly possible if we planted plants in it, it would cause some sort of mutation that could cause a problem. It's something that we can't foresee and don't want to risk without proper testing protocols. Is it anomalous to be able to see at night about the same during the day? Intern Zen, I want you to consider this question. You asked me, but I'm going to turn it back on you. Do normal human beings have the ability to see just as well at night as they do during the day, where they are not affected by the changing of light? Do they? Is that normal? Or is it normal that people have a problem with seeing in the dark as compared to in the light? The answer to your question is quite obvious, and I don't know why you're asking me. Unless you're slyly hinting that we should open a containment cell for you, which we will now do. So I guess congratulations. Welcome to containment. Wandering by the Books, thank you for donating again to say. Oh, sorry. I'm just so sore from the gym because of my sick Foundation Fitness Initiative fit. Lifted such heavy things. So good for you. Maybe we convince enough people that SCP-682 is a hamster, it'll just die in the most absurd way ever. Well, likely, the absurd way that 682 died was due to that abomination, SCP. Seven, two, 9. If you look at that thing's documentation, you will see we expunged how it destroyed SCP-682. Probably because it was completely absurd. 100 stars. Thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. It's very generous that you would gift a star out of your 100 to the chat. Dr. Sherman, is there an SCP that's a basic stereotypical alien with green skin and a big head? Intern blocks view fruits. May I turn your attention to SCP-2020? Codename. Cliche, right? SCP-2020 is a sapient humanoid entity approximately 7'3" in height and 150 pounds in mass. Possesses unusually long and thin limbs, as well as facial features commonly associated with gray aliens and bright green coloration. On its face, SCP-2020 is one of them greens. You're welcome. Hey, Dr. Sherman, if the Scarlet King is in a different universe, then how do we have its children? Intern Raven, you're going to have to think about this in two manners. The first manner is that we have the children of the Scarlet King, which is in fact just the name of a cult. The children of the Scarlet King are a cult of humans who worship the Scarlet King, not literally its children. Now, if you're talking about the literally its children, depending on how you define that in which universe and which canon, then one would consider that they were brought here impregnated by the brides and birthed into our universe through a cosmic thaumaturgic manner. Certain entities can inject themselves into the universe. Luckily, the Scarlet King has not managed to do that yet. In a fight, who would win? SCP-001, the Gate Guardian, or SCP-096? Intern Justin. While 096 is quite durable, the Gate Guardian is, quote, mad OP. It's not a fight. The Gate Guardian sweeps. No cap. For real, not for play. Wandering by the books. Thank you for donating again to say. My bet is that SCP-6101 could deal with SCP-7. That thing. I do not doubt that Ethan Prosper, as mighty as that anomaly is, and how virtuous and good and mighty, could withstand and defeat that abomination. But I would never sully SCP-6101's presence with such a detritus when we can handle it on our own by keeping it in Dr. Hessen's office where it belongs! What happens with SCP-067 and SCP-222 fight? Intern Bubbles. I don't know what SCP-222 is off the top of my head. Codename Clone Coffin. It is... You want SCP-067, a fountain pen, to fight a area of tunnels in the Dolomites Mountains near Aviano, Italy? You want a fountain pen to fight some tunnels? No. That's not a fight. They are not... I'm so confused by your statement. Dr. Sherman, how does the coffee taste at Site 42? Intern Trigo, you know for certain that I, an aficionado of the beans, have a wide stock available at the commissary to make sure to suit the taste of the large amount of staff members at Site 42, as well as different days, different palates. Trust me, the coffee is sublime. Researcher Goose, thank you for your 6 months as a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Finish finals. Great stream to finish packing to. Well, I hope you did well on your exams. And yes, enjoy your packing monotonous task with a background sound. That can be very helpful for those tasks, yes. 369 Destroyer, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a... Grab yourself an eclair on your way past the commissary. I believe in SCP-4389-J even if you say it's not real. 4389-J? What are you talking about? A powerful anti-mimetic anomaly which is believed to have the physical form of a piece of medieval artillery. SCP-4389-J presents no signs of sentience, however, its anti-mimetic properties necessitate a Euclid classification. The anomalous effects of SCP-4389-J varies in potency depending on how long a member of personnel has been employed at the Foundation. Junior researchers and D-Class personnel are unable to observe SCP-4389-J, but accept its existence when made aware of it. However, site directors and members of the Overseer Council both cannot perceive 4389-J and refuse to believe that it exists. For this reason, testing of SCP-4389-J should only be carried out by junior researchers. No, it shouldn't, because as the containment procedures, which are struck through except for the final line, because they were corrected, state, SCP-4389-J does not require containment, as it does not exist. Message here from Site Director Anderson to Junior Researcher Rossi, dated 2017. So this is an older message, but probably still valid. Dr. Rossi, it has become apparent that you and several of your colleagues believe that there's a certain anti-memetic entity being contained in Site-19. This is not correct. There's nothing in the containment chamber which is seemingly designed to hold SCP-4389. Testing of other members of personnel who support the existence of SCP-4389-J has even revealed that there is no memetic or mind-altering component in this belief. You have come to this incorrect conclusion entirely using your own free will. There is nothing within that containment chamber, anomalous or not. This does not mean SCP-4389-J has breached containment, as something cannot breach containment if it does not actually exist. I have previously sent this email to several other junior researchers who all refuse to admit that SCP-4389-J is not real. They ignored the truth, so I'm going to make it extremely clear in this message. There is no canon. There is no anti-memetic artillery within the containment cell. There is no canon. You junior researchers and D-class personnel are making things up in your mind. And frankly, I'm tired of it, okay? We already have enough budgetary issues containing the anomalies we already have without you all trying to requisition funds to properly contain or test fire SCP-4389-J. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. SCP Foundation versus Wile E. Coyote. Well, intern Possumizer, we already tried to shut that anomaly up using a disinformation campaign that the CEO of a film studio shelved a certain film to make sure that the anomaly wouldn't spread. But it's seeming that we're going to have to work a little harder because I see that that movie has been pulled out of the vaults again. Hey, Dr. Sherman, do you know who Dr. Bob is? Intern Just Some. I do not know who Dr. Bob is because, unlike Detective Void and The Rubber, where it was fairly simple to find the company that runs their content farms, Dr. Bob is much more mysterious. We are unable to find out which company is manufacturing their videos. So I do know that Saraton Media Group was the creators of Detective Void before they closed. And The Rubber, I forget the name of their group, but it's in the video I made on this channel about The Rubber if you want to find out more there. The question is, out of character, I'm genuinely curious if there had to be a canon, which one would you choice one? Creepypasta George Harrison, if there had to be a canon, I would choose the canons of a pirate ship. Tampa, Florida born, pirate for life. Those are cool cannons on the end of a ship, for sure. Oh, by the way, Site 42 staff, we are 4 minutes remaining in stream, so you should probably get your last minute questions in. Hey, Dr. Sherman. I want to read more SCPs. Do you have any easy reads that you could recommend? Well, Intern Raven, since we are at the end of my stream, might I interest you in the SCPs I personally wrote? I mean, I'm not going to say they're my favorite. That would be narcissism. But I did write several SCPs which are available on the SCP Wiki. You can find them on my author page, the Sherm's author page and Site42 Hub. And coincidentally for you, except for the tale that is featured there, which is a bit on the longer side, all of my SCPs are pretty short reads. I'm more of a short story person myself. So, if you want to read my SCPs, Desk has shared my author page in the chat, or you can go to the pinned link in the chat or the Site42 support link if the links aren't working. The Site42 support link, as always, is beacons.ai/Site42. And that will allow you to check out my author page. And as well, one tab over, you'll find a list of links. Links that a lot of people in chat ask about, but then they're just not clever enough to find them afterwards, which is real sad. I give them all these hints, and they never look there. So sad for them. But not for you, Containment Hazard Assessment Team, because you are the smarties. And you'll find those links. And while you're at those links, you'll be able to become a Patreon patron or YouTube channel member to donate to us monthly. You'll be able to do a Ko-Fi or a YouTube channel, a Ko-Fi or a Super Chat to donate to us one at a time. Or if over 150 people go get a plushie within the next 14 hours, we can still get plushies. But likelihood, we're not going to get 150 sales in one day. So, sorry guys, that is probably out the door. But however you choose to support Site42, donations, merch, or the like, we appreciate your generosity regardless. And if you cannot successfully donate because you're part of the broke gang, do not fret. We understand starving artists in this arts community. And you can still help us out by being a member of Mobile Task Force Site42, coding the Signal Boosters. When you like, share, subscribe, comment, chat, don't forget to clip us, make edits, make memes, and share them on social media. Spread the word, and not just about Site42, but the SCP projects we support, the SCP authors with their stories and art, the filmmakers, game makers, merch makers, podcasters, animators. When you help SCP projects get engagement, they also end up get funding. And that is how we get an SCP movie in theaters starting the Kickstarter this Friday. Be aware, we're going to make it happen one way or another. And so, Site42 staff, whether you support us on the engagement team or the moneyed individual team, we greatly appreciate your generosity of finances or effort. It makes what we do here, Site42, function. It's how we, as a group, uplift the SCP community. And I appreciate you greatly for that. Dr. Sherman, how did you get the nickname Sherm the Worm? Intern Sprite. When you go through elementary, middle, and high school with the name Sherman, everything that rhymes with it becomes a nickname. Sherm the Worm, Sherm the Germ, Sperman Sherman, General Sherman, Sherman Clump, Sherman, the Shermanator. I'd say I heard it all, but sometimes people surprise me. It builds character. Yes, DJ, Dado calls me Dr. Sherbet. And yes, Sherman Tank has come up quite often as well, Chester Factory. Now, Intern Grim, thank you for sending a floating heart to the Containment Hazard Assessment team, as well as a flower and a thumbs up. I am sure they appreciate the love, the pretty flower, and the positive energy. Intern Kakira Miro, thank you for sending an ice cream sundae to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they enjoyed the sweet treat. And now, Site 42 staff, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980. Content warning on that last one, it's a bit of a rough read. Speed round. 3999-3043-008-J, Spooky-J, 5031, 5175, 5320, Internet. Content warning on the last one's a rough read. Site 42 staff, this has been another Coffee Break with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video or stream. I've come to my senses that I've become senseless, and I could give you lessons on how to ruin your friendships. Every last conviction, I smoked them all away. I drank my frustrations down the drain, out of the way. So I sit and wait and wonder, does anyone else feel like me? Someone so tired of their routines and disappearing self-esteems. I'll sing along, yeah, with every emergency. Just sing along. I'm the king of catastrophes. I'm so far gone that deep down inside I think it's fine by me. I'm my own worst enemy. The credit song was The Science of Selling Yourself Short by Less Than Jake. Be safe, be well, Site 42 staff. And as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video or stream.